You have the German Township Board of Trustees to order. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Heaston, would you please take the roll call?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Mr. Stubbs?
Here.
Mr. Rowland?
Here.
Mr. Potter?
Here.
All are present. I also like to make note that Chief Birch is here with us this evening, and Mrs. Burton is here also. Mr. Holbert has been given a bye for the evening, so he is not with us. If it's possible, I'd like to start with our online guest, which I believe is AJ Skidmore. Is that correct? SVG?
Yeah, that's correct. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So I do have a little bit of a website critique for you all that I'll run through. Would you guys mind if I share my screen?
Yep.
200 here. We'll go ahead.
Can
No
you make
volume?
him? Can you make his?
The TV? Hold on.
Can you make his? It's not on the TV. It's on this thing. Can you make his screen full screen too when you get a second?
This all fitting?
I don't think so. I think you should be able to
Alright.
click on it.
All right, can you guys see that okay?
Yep.
Awesome. So I do have a little bit of a checklist here. Obviously, it does look like the website has some years on it. So overall, design standards have changed. So that's the first thing that could be improved is the visual appearance. Off the bat, kind of noticing a lot of different navigation options. Could be a little bit overwhelming, could be a little bit organized better. And a lot of township websites, it's common to have like a departments drop down, which could have Board of Trustees, police, zoning, different departments, instead of having all of them kind of laid out like that. I also noticed that the website search bar, that's common practice these days. So when a user goes to the website, they don't know where to look, they can just click a search feature typically, and use that to search the web. And so that's something that could be added. We did run your website through a mobile friendly, just testing how it would function on a mobile screen, so on a phone. And you guys got a 7 out of 10, which is okay, pretty average for township websites, but again, could be improved. Another thing that's big that's coming up are the ADA guidelines put into effect for April 24th of 2027, making sure that your website is able to be navigated by somebody with a visual or auditory disability. And a big thing is making sure your documents are saved in a way that a blind person could use a screen reader, which is a separate software, but they would need to be able to use a screen reader to access that information. So go into your meeting minutes. I do notice that a lot of them are scanned documents, and scans are useful for capturing signatures. But unfortunately, it's just a high resolution image. So somebody who's blind would not have access to the actual information that's on the document. And to add a signature, there are ways to do that while maintaining ADA compliance. And the way you would do that is basically insert an image of the signature down here and paste it into the document while saving it from a Word document or a Google Doc. If you save that directly as a PDF, then all of the content on the PDF would be able to be accessed by a screen reader. So that's something that we'll definitely have to change in the future to become ADA compliant. Other things to note in that regard is to make sure that you are able to navigate the website with a keyboard. And you guys do have an okay accessibility rating overall. I think you got an 82 out of 100 on the test that we ran. But yeah, some things will have to change, making sure that people are able to navigate the website with their keyboards. So that is a little spiel on ADA compliance. The good news is for documents, they do allow an archive section. So your backlog, we'd be able to move that over to an archive section where you can keep that as is, but any new documents would have to undergo a different process to make sure that people are able to access that information effectively. So I'll quick pause right there. Does anybody have any questions for what I've gone over so far?
Not yet.
Okay, sounds good. Another thing we test is speed. You guys got an 85 out of 100 on that, so you guys are pretty good there. You do have an SSL certificate, so no security problems there. That S, make sure that just indicates that your website is secure. There are obviously other monitoring and things that we don't have access to, so we don't accurately have a way to measure that. Off the bat, going on the lines with security, we do notice that you have a .org. We definitely recommend that you move over to a .gov at some point. The reason for this is that only government entities, townships, cities, villages, and other government entities are allowed to get .gov domain names. And it just provides another layer of security, whereas anybody could get a .org and use it as pretty much a fraudulent website. It is illegal to do that, but it has happened where people get a URL that is very similar and set up a scam website using the name of the township. So yeah, anyway, .gov's another layer of security. It's completely free. It takes about a month for the application process. That is something that you guys will have to do at the township because there's a vetting process. Just making sure that you are indeed an official of German Township. So yeah, just encouraging a .gov domain. Another thing I have on my list is online fillable forms. That is something that would be useful. Here on the contact page, it does have contact information, but a contact form would be an easy way for residents to go to the website and get in touch with you guys. Another way online fillable forms are useful are for different applications at the township. Instead of printing out a PDF and handwriting, mailing it in or bringing it into the office, they can just go to the website, fill everything out, and then it submits to the official that it needs to go to. So that's something that you guys could add if you're interested in it. It is common practice for townships these days as well. Some things you did well. Your current meeting minutes do seem to be up to date. So it seems like you are able to make edits and updates to the website, making sure that all the content is up to date. So that's something that you guys did well. Something that could be improved is adding a township calendar. You do have places to post information and events that are upcoming, but a calendar just kind of makes it easier for residents to go to the website and see goings on at the township, such as meetings or if there are other recreational events and stuff like that. Other townships use it to track hall rentals. So if you rent out a hall or parks, it's good to show when that's available or when it's booked. So yeah, the calendar of events is something that could be added. So I kind of flew through that. That's pretty much everything that is on my list regarding your website critique. My last thing is that your township logo does seem to be an image. And we definitely think that that could be improved, vectorized, and made to be a little bit more visually appealing. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Do you have any questions? Anything that comes to mind?
If I may, before we get into any questions, just for those people in the audience as well as our other online participants, I wanted to make sure that everyone knows that Mr. Skidmore is with a company called Shoemaker Technology Group, and the Ohio Township Association Service Corporation has established a program with STG to provide hosting, design, and maintenance of township websites here in Ohio. And STG did perform a free analysis of our website that Mr. Skidmore has just reviewed with us. And the purpose is to ensure that we are following best practices and are legally and regulatory compliant. So with that that information, trustees, would you like to have any questions for Mr. Skidmore?
What kind of cost are we looking at? Just to do everything you just said, what kind of a cost is that gonna run us per year, per month, whatever?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have different packages for different size townships. So the lowest cost that you could go with is a $700 design that only includes 5 pages. If I were to recommend a package, I would recommend either the next level up, which includes 15 pages, and that package would be a one-time fee for design and creation of the website. And that would be $12.95, so $1,295 as a one-time fee. And then our hosting starts at $375 a year. And that includes backup, security, and monitoring of your website. We do also have several other packages that are more expensive and come with more of the other tools and services that would be above the base level. And we can put together an official proposal to you and send it over if that's something that you're interested in.
So the one-time fee, $12.95 or $700, whatever we went with, but it's $375 a year ongoing. That's the cost to run the website and everything that goes along with that.
Correct.
Our emails.
Yes.
Okay.
So emails would be, if you wanted to go with us for emails, that would be a separate cost, starting at $60 per account per year.
Is that
Okay.
60 per email address?
60 per email address per year. Yeah, that's correct.
Each email. Okay.
Any other questions for him?
Our current website, where would it be at on you have there 4 different levels, the OTA listed. Where would we be at on that range?
So you do have more than 5 pages, but you do not have more than 15. So I'd say that $12.95 is where you fit best.
But that's where we're at right now currently.
Correct.
And the next step up from that is
That would be $22.95, so a little bit more expensive. That would include with additional features such as login gated pages and surveys, polls, and form builder tools. And that includes up to 25 pages. So if you want to add several more pages to the website, if you want to have some wiggle room there, the next level up would be a good option.
And it's still the $375 per year, even if you move up.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Still the $375.
Can I just make?
Sure.
So does any of that include training? The person's gonna run the website from here or?
Yes, yeah. Any package comes with website training for anybody at the township who'd like to be able to make changes to the website. We do also have a full service help desk. So if you want us to make changes and additions to the website, we're able to do that for you. However, that does come at an hourly cost. If you have no commitment and want to and plan to maintain it yourself, but let's say something comes up, you want us to do something for you, that would be $85 an hour. But we also have discounted rates if you'd like to prepay for help desk hours. So if you were to say prepay 6 hours, that would drop the hourly rate to $62.50. So we do have options if you plan to use our help desk. But yes, every package comes with training for people at the township to make changes to the website, and that training is offered repeatedly at no cost. So if anybody new were to take a position at the township, we could redo the training session and make sure that they know what they're doing.
Yeah, hold on. I got a couple more questions for you.
Kurt Jacoby, 2955 Harris Road. I guess if you proceed, at some point, you might want to ask specifically for references of other townships. Even though the Ohio Township Association's endorsing, it's always nice to best practice, see if that's a good fit. Number two, I would ask if they happen to have any representation booths at the trade show for the winter conference.
Yeah. Will you guys have a booth at the trade show?
Yes, yep, we'll be at the trade show. And we will also be doing a complimentary headshot the second day of the conference, I believe. So yeah, feel free to stop by, get a professional headshot, and say hi in person. And what was the other question?
References from other townships.
Yeah, absolutely. We have done over 300 municipal websites, so we can definitely send you references of our work and yeah, projects that we're proud of.
What are their hours of service?
Hours of service.
So we're open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We do have staff that are available after hours in case of emergencies.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned like a contact us form on the website. Does that $12.95 include designing something like that, or would that be over and above?
No, the contact form is included across all packages.
And then you also mentioned fillable forms available on the website. So is that something you do, or is that something we'd have to purchase, like a full-blown copy of Acrobat?
No, that's something that we do. If you'd like a fillable PDF, that is priced separately in the proposal, and it depends on how many and the content of the PDF. Because some forms can be 10 plus pages, and others can be simple 1-page forms. So yeah, it depends on the content of that. But we do offer the fillable forms as PDFs or digital fillable forms as add-ons. The silver package, the $12.95, does include one online fillable form. So if they go to the website, fill it out online, and press submit, that is included. One that's included, and there are others priced separately that you can purchase if you'd like.
And roughly, on average, a 1 or 2 page form, what do you normally look at for that? Cost-wise?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's priced at $85 per hour. So a 2-page form would be less than an hour. I would say 15 to 20 minutes to do that.
Yes, again, just on that, that would really be very valuable for the zoning department as far as fillable or.
Yeah.
Okay.
For selection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Worth it. I think the whole package is.
Yeah.
Did he say that the fillable forms, there were more fillable forms included in the higher package, the $2,200 package?
Yeah, the $2,200. Sorry to interrupt. The $2,200 package includes 3 digital fillable forms.
They can do form in a half hour. I mean, that's maybe 40.
Yeah.
Not very long.
Well, I don't think we're ready to make a decision tonight, but I do appreciate the information as we're just starting our research into which way to go.
You want a written proposal? He's offered to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds great.
I would say the 1295 package is where we would most likely fit, right?
He said, if I understood right, we have 5 pages on our website now, but with that 12.5, it gets us up to 15 pages. Is that correct?
Yeah, we won't fit. We're too big for the small one, but.
Yeah, you do have more than
We
5
could add-
pages currently.
10 more pages.
We could add a few more. Now, I'm not sure 10, but I think we could add a few.
Okay.
Yeah,
He said we currently have more than 5 forms.
Yes.
Or 5 pages.
Yes.
Just the 1295 doesn't include any fillable forms. Is that correct?
If you want.
One.
or we could purchase extras.
Buy it.
And one of the things we've got right now on the website is the person will go and we'll put announcements on for meetings, things like that. We'll have that capability.
Yes, absolutely.
And then what if we wanted to have some sort of blog? So instead of just Facebook, Facebook people, if the police department wanted to have a blog for, the police reports or zoning updates or anything like that, is that something that's added on to the pages or anything like
Yeah.
that?
Yep. So we could set something up for you in any package. If you'd like to have a blog specifically for the fire department, we can definitely set that up for you.
You mentioned calendar. Is that an extra cost also?
Nope. The events calendar is included in all packages.
AJ, if you will send that proposal to me, Mark Easton as the fiscal officer. And you obviously have our address from the website. And if you want to email me, my email address is on the website.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put that together. We should definitely have that to you by the end of this week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much. Thanks for your
Yeah,
time.
thank you for having me. Of course. Yeah, thank you for having me. And yeah, I appreciate your time.
We appreciate the review you did. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, with that, I will go ahead and go with visitor comments now. So if anybody has any visitor comments tonight. Sure. Just state your name for the record.
Mark Keener, Valley View JED Treasurer. So I handed out everybody kind of a year-end summary from the JED and what happened this year. So just I want to point out just a couple of highlights. I'm not going to go through every item here. So our collections from the JED for 2025, $152,666. And then I want to move down to the contributions, 37,500. So, that's what we distributed out to the different groups that came to the JED board and asked for things. So our beginning of the balance for the special projects funds at January 1st of 25 is $38,559. We collected, and after much conversation in the December 2024 meeting of the percent to collect, we collected 22,899, and that was 15% of the 152,000. Current amount that we were starting with January 1st was $21,084. So you can see we gave away this year roughly 15,000 more that we took in. So with that in mind, we had some discussion at our December meeting and then finalized the percent at the January org meeting. So if you remember last year, we 15%. It was a very, we'll say just a fun conversation that was had by the participants as well as some of the representatives from some of the entities. This year we had none of that, and the board voted unanimously at the January meeting to go from 15. We were withholding 20% this
Nice.
year. So we're trying to do as much as we can. You can see the amounts that we gave where it says paid through 9/10. That should actually be 12/31. So We did, where it says net due, that column is we got a check-in after, from the school for taxes. After I'd already done all the distributions and stuff for December. So those amounts will be included in the checks I write in March. So let's go over to the donations. So I kind of broke out the 37,000 on there. So in March, we had the athletic boosters come to the meeting and ask for money to support their weight room enhancements they were doing. So that was a $3,000 contributions to the athletic boosters. In June, the music boosters came and they were trying to finish out their trailer for the band. And they had asked for, I think, 2,500 initially, but then they were still going to be short. They needed some money for custom shelving and stuff. So we decided to up their request from 2,500 up to 3,000. Just as kind of a aha, when we were talking about that, I asked them if we gave them more than the Lions Club donated, if we would actually get top billing on their sponsor list on the back of the trailer. I said that as a joke. They took it seriously, apparently, because we're listed number 2, I think, on the back of the trailer, the jet is. And then, was it you that mentioned, or I guess it was Randy Stiver mentioned that apparently they mentioned the jet at all the football games as a contributor and sponsor for that. I thought that was kind of funny. Also at the June meeting, we had just a single check we wrote to the Board of Education, but that was for 3 different projects. So one was for a greenhouse project for the special ed kids. That was $5,000. We had keyboards. One of the music teachers came and they've got a keyboard program. They had originally asked, and I don't remember the exact amount, but for enough for, I think, 6 keyboards. We actually doubled that because that was still meant that the kids in the program were going to have kind of a wait because they had more kids than keyboards, even once they bought the new ones. So we actually doubled their request and gave them enough to buy 12 keyboards. And those are keyboards that have dual headset jacks so the kid can practice and then the teacher can also listen in so the kids aren't disturbing each other. So they can have 12 kids on a keyboard or on keyboards in a room. The SROs had requested some money for some Stop the Bleed kits. And this was really great. So those are tourniquet kits, just in case there's any sort of injuries, whether it's shooting or, a kid falls through a plate glass window, it's cut on a jagged piece of steel out on the playground, who knows? But these are like tourniquet kits. And Chief Birch is probably more familiar with them than I am, but basically tourniquet kits. And these kits are now in every classroom, in every office, and then I think in a few of like supply closets in the library. Or there is no library out there. But anyway, they're all throughout the school. So people are just seconds away from being able to provide first aid for any sort of bleed injury. So that was really great. September, one of the teachers who is a disc golf person came and wanted to put a disc golf course out at the school. So we gave them $4,000, which was enough, I think, for a 9-hole course that they're going to do out there. December, we had the digital media teacher come and ask for a drone for the kids and also a high-end digital camera to the tune of $4,000 for that. So they got a really nice, a little bit about the drones. They got a really nice, not necessarily top of the line, but a very capable drone that'll last that program several years. And then there was also the yearbook teacher wanted cameras for the kids on the yearbook crew. And so I don't remember the exact number of cameras, but I think we bought like 10 cameras for the kids to have with them to go around and be taking pictures throughout the school day and the school year for the yearbook. But also kind of cool. And then the last one there was to the Valley View PTO for $5,000 for a shade structure. And so what was going on with that is out at the elementary school playground. So they've got a synthetic surface out there that apparently gets very, very, very hot in hot weather. And so the kids are quite uncomfortable. There was no shade anywhere. The people that are on the JED board that work at the school, so the kids are literally getting underneath playground equipment to be in the shade. It's that bad. Plus the teachers are out there, they're hot and uncomfortable. And so the PTO wanted to put up some sort of shade structure. So they went and shopped around, got with a company that's going to put up basically a shade sail that's on a cantilevered post. So it will actually be outside the fence, the post will. The shade structure will be over the fence. They've done the analysis based on research or recess times to have this thing positioned optimally to give the most shade during the time that the kids are most likely to be out there. The cost for that was going to be about $26,000 for installation. So this is a fairly high end, pretty good size. The PTO had committed $10,000 of their money already. They came to us and just asked for anything to help. So the initial give from the JED board in December was $5,000 towards their project. So that put them at 15. I found out that somebody made an anonymous donation up for another 5 towards that. So that put them at 20. And then after that happened, I got a call from somebody in the community that was aware of what we were doing. And they asked me if there was any chance of the board going and reconsidering and potentially giving a second donation to that. And I said, well, we never have. We've never given more than 5,000 to any single project, which was the greenhouse project. And then this one, I said, so, we've already have reached, and they came back and they said something that was really, I think, very true, that a lot of the stuff that we donated to was great things. I mean, Stop the Bleed, the weight room, going to be used by the athletes, the music boosters, all the band people get to use that. Disc golf is theoretically open to anybody that can throw a Frisbee, basically. But these are also, I mean, like the drones and the cameras, those are small subsets. The keyboard's very small subset of the entire student body. And they said the shade structure is going to serve the entire student body of the elementary school. And not to mention people that are out there after school hours, hot summer afternoons. So it would be really a very broad gift as opposed to just a narrow focus for some of these other things. So I was asked if I would bring that before the board. So I did at our board meeting last week. And the board overwhelmingly loved the idea of doing this. So then the question, well, how much more do we give? And, do we just give another 5,000? And Mr. Cunningham from Farmersville, who's a great guy, great addition to the board, said, let's just finish it off for them, so they don't have to worry about it. The PTO doesn't have to dip into more money. We've got the money, plenty of money in there. And said, let's just give them the 6,000 they need to get them to the 26. And so the board, I wrote the check the other night. So the shade structure now is fully funded for the kids out there. So that's it.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the update.
Oh, one other thing that's interesting is, technically I am on my second term. So my first term, even though it was a 4-year term because they were staggered due to when the JED was formed. So my first term was actually 14 months. So I'm halfway through my second 4-year term. Found out, and Mr. Cyber had printed this out because Mrs. Schmidt from the school, she's on her second 4-year term now. He said, yep, you're going to have to get somebody else once your term's up because everybody's limited to 2 consecutive terms. So keep in mind, I right now was appointed by Jackson. So when my term is up, the trustees will need to appoint somebody else to represent German Township.
Okay.
So do it, but I can't. So
Given that you're not doing the term for the same entity, does that apply?
it says, I looked at that. And the way the wording is it says no one member can serve more than 2 consecutive terms. So, because I thought, yeah, we got a kind of a way around it because with that. So, but I still may go ahead and email Brenda, get a clarification on that.
Well, you've done an excellent job, and especially, and now hearing that you guys got the percentage back up. So we appreciate the fight that you put into it to get it, the
Yep.
money where it needs to go.
Well, and the interesting thing is that at the 2024 meeting, the vote for 15% was not unanimous. This time, the vote to raise it was unanimous. So I thought that was rather interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, we have a pretty good idea of when Mr. Cunningham's term expires, he'll be replaced by a Germantown appointee, which we can make assumptions and we would probably be right about who would be on that board. However, that person is still going to be outnumbered by people who are in favor of these higher amounts.
Absolutely.
So that will be-
Whose term ended was there any terms that ended at the?
terms that ended this year was Lindsay Schmidt, ended in 2024. So
Okay.
she started her new term in 2025.
Okay.
And then Randy's term ended as well.
Okay,
So he just got sworn in for another 4 years.
okay,
So,
okay. All right.
so one other thing that was kind of it's probably sad is the best word for it, is at the December meeting, lady that comes here from Sunshine in a Bag, or Julie, yeah.
Stephanie Smith,
Yeah, so Julie Smith's daughter, who is Stephanie.
Stephanie-in-law, Stephanie.
Daughter-in-law, yeah. So she came to our meeting in December and asked if there was anything we could do for Sunshine in a Bag. Unfortunately, we had to kind of table that because it's not a physical improvement and it's not a service to the JED,
Right.
technically,
Yeah.
even though we're servicing people that are out at the JED.
Okay.
So we tabled that. Mr. Stiver got with Brenda for clarification, and unfortunately her interpretation of everything and referencing back to the ORC was that we could not, the board, JED board could not donate to Sunshine in a Bag.
Okay.
So it is fortunate that, we here at German Township do that because that's definitely a definite need. So
That was in the budget again for this year. So.
good. So, yep, they definitely appreciate it. Their costs, she said, are running about a little over $4,000 a month right now for Sunshine in a Bag.
They are looking for monthly donors to cover a whole month. So, and any entity that's interested in doing that, they can
Mhm.
sign up for a month and give 4,000. Wow. I know my Lions are doing that.
Oh, good.
Plus we give more throughout the year.
Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to fund them for a month. I did write her a check when she was there, my own check. And so, okay. Any questions on all of this?
No, but thank you for your hard work on that.
So, oh, and one other thing, I don't know if you got an email I got an email from the state auditor's office today. You might have gotten it too, listing out I guess I got it because of the JED board. But listing out the public records training and stuff. So I don't know if you seen the schedule for that. Okay. All right. Cool. That's it. Thank you.
Any other visitor comments tonight? Other? All right. I will turn it over to Mr. Heaston for the fiscal officer's report.
All right, let me turn on my camera. Good evening again, everyone. We'll start out with the minutes. I have given you the minutes for our December 29th year-end special meeting. I've also given you the minutes for our January 2nd organizational meeting. Are there any changes, additions, corrections?
I would like to make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
Heard Mr. Rowland first. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. I've also given you the final December financial reports, the same reports that we looked at the year-end budget meeting. But now there are a few new transactions that include the new report. These reports include 2 month-end items in December. One was a direct post office charge to mail the quarterly trash invoices. And of course, the second one was our monthly interest from both First National Bank and Star Ohio. And so if we could approve the final December financial reports and simply authorize the payment of that additional postage bill, which is voucher number 1069.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the final December financial reports and authorize the payment of the additional December bill voucher 1069.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. And in order to pay that post office charge, I had to increase the trash postage appropriation for 2025. And since all appropriations must have trustee approval, we're going to need to do a resolution just for that purpose. We're going to make this resolution 2026-10.
I would like to introduce resolution 2026-10, a resolution approving an additional 2025 appropriation, $300 for account 2071-320-599-0101.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. Any discussion of the resolution? I'll call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2026-10 is adopted. Back in December, when we reviewed the budgets for this year, you agreed that we would transfer $8,000 from the general fund to the road and bridge fund as an approximate payment for mowing the rural cemeteries by the road department and also the township grass. To allow me to record that transfer, I request that you adopt a resolution. I've given you the language. Number 11.
I would like to introduce resolution 2026-11, a resolution approving a transfer of $8,000 from the general fund 1,000 to the road and bridge fund 2031 as approximate payment for the 2026 mowing of the rural cemeteries by the road department.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2026-11 is adopted. Also in December, you agreed, as we've done the last few years, that we would transfer amounts from the general fund to allocate interest to various other funds. And just as a reminder, and for our audience as well as our new trustee, the state has specific requirements related to recording interest. Certain of our funds are required to receive their pro rata share of interest. These funds include the general fund, the motor vehicle license tax fund, the gasoline tax fund, and the permissive motor vehicle license tax fund. However, certain of our funds are not allowed to receive interest, and these are the road and bridge fund, the garbage and waste fund, the police district fund, as well as the five smaller police funds, the road levy fund, and the 5 joint levy funds with Germantown. The state requires that the general fund receive these funds pro rata share of interest. And then thirdly, certain funds are allowed to receive interest with trustee approval. And these include the Sunsbury Cemetery and the Fouts Trust Funds. And you previously have approved allocating interest to those funds in 2026. So during 2025, Star Ohio paid us interest totaling $99,942 and change. And I did provide you an analysis of this interest. First National Bank paid us total interest for the year of $47 and a penny. And since that is a small number, I did not include this in my analysis. So last year, you transferred amounts representing interest to the Road and Bridge Fund, the Police District, and the Road Levy Funds. And should you want to do those same 3 funds transfers this year, I would recommend a total of $31,900, $8,200 to the Road and Bridge Fund, $20,900 to the Police District Fund, and $2,800 to the Road Levy Fund. And if you'd like to make that transfer, we'll do Resolution 12.
I would like to introduce resolution 2026-12, a resolution approving the transfer of $31,900 from the general fund number 1,000 as follows. $8,200 to the Road and Bridge Fund 2031 $40,900 to the Police District Fund 2081, and $2,800 to the Road Levy Fund 2141. The purpose of the transfer is to strengthen the fund balance of the recipient funds.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion of the resolution? I'll call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yeah.
Thank you. Resolution 2026-12 is adopted. Now, last year you decided not to transfer interest from the general fund to the trash fund or to the 5 joint levy funds. If you want to make a different decision this year, I recommend a $6,300 transfer to the trash fund and a total of $38,000 to the 5 joint levy funds. But if you wish to just keep things as they were, we'll move on.
I'd just like to keep them as they were.
I agree.
Okay, no problem. At Mr. Potter's request, when we approved the 2026 appropriations, we included $10,000 to begin a creek maintenance account. Excuse me. And I understand Mr. Potter would like to add an additional $10,000 to be appropriated every year to add to this amount for the purpose of future maintenance of Twin Creek and Little Twin Creek. Now, we can keep the money in our budget for the general fund, but it tends to get lost. And from year to year, we'll forget how much we've appropriated over the years. So I would suggest, to ensure that these amounts are not used for any other purpose, that we create a new fund and transfer $10,000 from the general fund to the new fund. Now, just as a reminder, once we set up a special fund, that fund balance may not be used for other purposes without approval from either the county budget commission or potentially also the courts, Montgomery County courts. But if you'd like to make that transfer and set up a new fund for this specific purpose, we'll use resolution 13.
I have a discussion about that. I know we're saying creek fund. We put money in there. How do we determine whether that's meets that criteria as a creek fund? If that's a separate money. That's my concern.
Well, it'd have to be for maintenance on Twin Creek or Little Twin.
But I know that, but I'm saying right now that has to do with whether it has to do with the roads or what else would it be?
I'm assuming erosion control and.
Well, what it has been in the past, if the creek erodes next to the road, it becomes a road.
Right, becomes a road
It's a road issue that they have to pay for out of their budget.
Right.
Or if it erodes into the park like it did at Kircher Park, then they're expected the park to take care of it out of their budget. So my thought of this is to do maintenance on the creek to where it is a creek problem. And the creek, to keep the creek from encroaching onto the roads or onto the park, is what it's, am I answering your question?
It is. I'm just concerned about tying the money up in a fund and then not maybe being able to use it if we have to justify to use it or something. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, it would be, anything on the creek would be justified. but-
Anything in the creek will be justified. Are you talking about anything we do outside of the creek?
Well, anything outside of the road or that had to do with the road or anything it had to do specifically with.
Well, I'm not sure how many miles of creeks we have, but.
No, I know. No, I understand.
Used for the money.
Well, I understand that also.
So I think it's just, like we've had over the last couple of years here, we've had over $100,000 in to come up with paying for these erosions. So it's just trying to build a fund up a little bit each year so we don't have this in the future. Is my thought process.
And if I understand correctly, the city of Germantown is doing the exact same thing,
Absolutely.
setting aside 10,000
They
into
are.
a special
Creek fund.
maintenance fund.
Creek maintenance fund. Yes, they absolutely are. So.
You satisfied?
Yeah, that's fine. Fine.
I think
you understood it.
Having it in a separate account, although I wouldn't mind losing it, getting it back in the general fund. I think that does make the most sense. So I'll introduce resolution 2026-13, a resolution to transfer $10,000 from the general fund, account number 1000-760-730 to a newly established creek maintenance fund.
Second. Thank you for that.
Any discussion?
Will that fund be eligible for allocation of the interest? Or will that have to be a special resolution to allocate?
Excellent question. Till I set up the fund, I would not know the answer to that. But I'll make note in my mind to come back if it's not automatically required. Good question. Thank you. Let me make a note so I don't forget that. Any other discussion? I'll call the roll. Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And that was 13 that you used, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Next item, I've given you the annual analysis of the Fouts Trust Fund and how much can be distributed to charities. And just to kind of rehash old business, the original principle was given to the trust, to the township, Dr. Cross, I think it was in the 1930s.
By the way,
In Mr. Fouts, W.K. Fouts's estate. It was set up that only 75% of the increased amount above the original principal may be spent. So we've got the original principal that can't be spent, and then every year, whatever it earned in interest, 25% can't be spent. And I first prepared the analysis that I sent you before tonight's meeting a couple of years ago after I reviewed Dr. Cross's work back in 2019, when he deeply delved into the whole Fouts Trust Fund issue, because for many years it had sat on the township's book and nothing had been done with it. So thanks to Dr. Cross, we were now able to figure out what could be donated. So my analysis tells me that at the end of 2025, we have $12,821 of a balance of $31,299 that is available to be spent. When you approve the appropriations for 2026, you approve $2,000 to be donated from the fund. And at the point, at that rate of $2,000 a year, we probably have 7 or 8 years before we will run out of available donation money. And whenever you're ready to decide on this year's donation, at that time, we'll make it a resolution. You can do it tonight, or we can wait. I know in the past, you've always given it to Sunshine in the Bag. You may want to do it now. You may want to wait till the fall when the new school year starts. Totally up to you.
I would like to give it to Sunshine in a Bag again this year, but I'd also, before we do that, I'd like to have them come and give us an update on their operations. So I don't think there's any need for anything tonight. Just off the, I know you showed us before, but do you know how much interest that account brought in this past year?
Yes.
Pretty close.
It brought in $1,347 of interest. We paid out $2,000.
Okay.
So we depleted the amount available.
Okay.
And only 75% of that 1,300 could be used
Sure.
anyway. So what we can do is Dr. Stephanie Smith, who was mentioned by Mr. Keener, can come and talk to us about Sunshine.
Yep.
Okay.
Only problem is our meetings are the same nights as hers. The school board meets the same night.
We could have her at the end of our meeting.
That would work.
Yeah, that would work. So whenever you're ready, you may want to just reach out to her.
Okay. I will make note.
Okay. Last month, Mr. Stubbs, you agreed to draft a statement of action taken, a response to the cybersecurity recommendations that were given to the township following an October site visit by OTARMA's cyber IT risk consultant, Aaron Willis. We were asked to respond within 60 days of his November 4th report. have you been able to put something together?
I have come up with some policies for us. I need to make copies for board, but I have a social media policy. I was able to come up with a few things. The passwordless authentication is going to be an issue. I believe our computers have already been upgraded or migrated to Windows, newer than Windows 10, as police department's working on that, or,
We will wait until April
okay,
to spend that money.
that's fine. So that plan is in place. Do we have any other computers that are not Windows 10? Or
That
that need
are
up-
still
that
Windows.
are still, I'm sorry, that are still Windows 10?
Mine is not. I don't think Mrs. Burton's is. I think it's an 11.
Okay.
You
So
can check.
that'll take care of that. So the next was provide an annual cybersecurity awareness training with frequent engaging refreshers throughout the year. Start with that one. I was able to come up with some cybersecurity awareness training resources for Ohio local governments. The Ohio State and local government resources consist of the Ohio Persistent Cyber Improvement Program, O-PCI, the Cyber Frontline First Aid Kit, CFFAK, the Ohio Auditor of State Cybersecurity Training Resources, which are on their website, the Ohio Auditor of State Training Portal on the auditor's website, and I have the links included on all these. And then a best practice resource as well, which was the Ohio Public Library Information Network that is included as well. So that would be the cybersecurity portion of it. The next one was the comprehensive disaster plan. Germantown, I have a German Township disaster recovery plan that you guys can review and we can discuss next month. I will make copies when this is over. Basically, the purpose is to establish a comprehensive framework to restore township operations following an unexpected outage of a computer network application or system lasting more than 6 hours and involving property damage. Plan is designed to minimize service disruption, protect data and assets, and reduce the future risk. So I will make this available to the other trustees. And then the last portion of it was a social media policy. I was able to draft a policy online that covers everything they asked us to use. So this policy has the purpose, the scope, definitions of social media, anyone that's using it, authorized use by anyone on the township accounts, prohibited content. It lists public interaction and moderation, records retention, public records, personal social media use and guidelines, political activity, violations, and then training as well. And then you have to have, each person will have to sign off on this as well. So beyond that, do I need to send something to Mr. Willis beyond these?
If you could do that on behalf of the trustees, that
Yeah.
would be fine.
Okay,
And certainly tell them that these are in process and
Okay.
adopted.
perfect.
And then maybe next month we
Yep.
can adopt or make changes. Have
Yeah,
your other trustees have a chance to review it.
absolutely. And this is just a framework, so anything that you guys want changed or added or subtracted is just fine.
Mr. Stubbs,
Yes, sir.
the police department does have a cybersecurity policy.
You
So-
do, okay,
So if I could get a digital copy of what you guys decide on,
sure,
so that I can mesh that in with what we've already got,
okay,
specifically the training,
okay,
that would be great.
absolutely.
Okay, so I'll add that again to next month's agenda for final approval of these or changes as needed. All right, thank you for doing all that work. Much appreciated. And with all that work behind you, I know in the past, we talked about having a cybersecurity consultant come and talk to us. And we specifically talked about having, Sean Waldman from Secure Cyber in the Dayton area attend one of our meetings. Do we think that's even needed at this point?
You think you can add anything? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It wouldn't hurt to have him come. I mean, if he's willing, I would still have him come.
Okay. What we can do is maybe wait till March
That's fine.
to give you a chance to approve these.
Sure.
We can send them to him when we ask him to attend.
Perfect.
Okay. I will reach out. All right. I'm going to attend Montgomery County Auditor Carl Keith's annual update at Sinclair College on January 22nd. I'm not expecting to have any surprises this year as I had last year.
I didn't do anything, I promise this
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I did see the email and it made me laugh because I thought, man, if I turned him in again, what would happen?
There's no way they would give it to me a second time. But I only wish I would have dressed up a little better last year. I looked pretty schlubby.
Oh, you were fine.
Anyway, I will not, though, be attending the OTA Winter Conference.
Okay.
I looked at everything and I did not see the benefit to spending 3 days in Columbus for that purpose. So, but talking about the OTA Winter Conference, last year you did pass a resolution authorizing payment from the general fund for expenses incurred by the trustees when in attending the OTA conference. And if you wish to do that again this year, I've given you some language for a resolution. We make that number 14.
So I'll introduce resolution 2026-14, a resolution authorizing payment from the general fund for expenses incurred by the trustees when attending the Ohio Township Association's annual winter conference.
Second.
Any discussion?
I make a suggestion. We make that an ongoing policy because it was a policy until we had to stop it.
Yeah, we ran into some budget issues years ago, and that's why it's,
Rather than having to do it every year, say,
Would you like to make it an ongoing policy?
I think it should be whoever's.
So let's add that language. Are you comfortable with that, Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
I will add appropriate language when I put it in the minutes. Okay, so resolution 2026-14, any discussion? All right, Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2026-14 is adopted. Wanted to let you know that all the paperwork has been completed to set up the new 2026 medical mutual health plan. As part of that, the township has joined the Council of Smaller Enterprises, which is a requirement of the new health plan. Township employees have been informed that all costs charged by out-of-network providers will be the responsibility of the employee. And it appears that the transition between plans will be fairly smooth for the employees. Have you had a chance, Chief, to look at your account? Does it look the same? Do you know? So it should be fairly easy to move on to the new policy.
Yeah.
I think we have a winner with this new plan.
Good.
So I'm pleased. Next item, Mindy Callahan down at the city of Germantown contacted Ms. Close to begin with, and then moved on to me and asked about using our digital sign to promote non-town wondered if our sign could be used to also promote city and or outside events. And so if you want to consider this, we may want to talk about a policy, or you may simply say, not interested. Totally up to you, what you'd like to do.
I think we should stick with township events. I think you could get a little too much.
I think we need to put policy in place.
You can put a policy in place, yeah. But the city is more than welcome to buy a sign.
I don't think we necessarily need a policy if the answer is only
Well, but I mean,
township events.
If we're the only ones posting and we're not gonna
Or
put
you
out
could make a
signs.
motion to that point.
but there's also, it could be emergencies, could be safety notices.
Well, that's all covered on there. She can put that out whenever, if it's township related emergency or notices, that can all go out. But if we're talking outside, would be the city. I mean, I would honestly say it, the sign we could put our pool and anything we have joint with them, that can go on there anyway, because it's township. So you're just talking about city specific events, maybe. But that's, again, they can put a sign on Route 4 in Germantown.
But with the Christmas thing, well, I guess the Christmas thing
It's
is.
joint, yeah.
What about school stuff? Do you exclude that too?
Do we put anything on there for the school? I've had.
Well, you have.
Yeah,
She
she's,
said good luck to this
Oh.
or that, but nothing specific to the school.
These are all things that we decide internally.
yeah,
I don't know why you would try to define those.
right.
I think what we're talking about is someone comes in from the outside, whether it be the city or a private entity, nonprofit, business, whatever. Do you want to accommodate them?
No,
That it's convoluted.
yeah,
So I think it's pretty simple. We continue as we are now.
continue as we are now. And you could also send a copy of our bill to them for that. If they would choose to go with the same company, because they did a great job on that sign.
That was a great sign.
It was a great sign, so.
Good price. Cheaper than what my church paid for our sign a few years back and 10 times better quality. I'm sure Mr. Garone probably agrees with that.
Just as an aside, I spoke at Jackson Township and I gave them a jet update. I pull up there, they've got their sign outside the senior center.
Yeah.
And I'm watching that thing flash on the side of the house next to that building and I think, I hope they turn that sign off at some point.
I think theirs does time off. I don't know what the time is, but it does turn off.
I think ours dims out, it dims during nighttime.
Okay.
A sign like that in our property is very appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
The Jackson Township sign, I think, is completely inappropriate where it's located.
I think they'd be better off where it's at the police station now. The Jackson Township's new police station on the way into town would be a little more visually friendly, I would say.
Okay, that's the last thing I want to talk about. You see the last item. If you want to discuss it, we can do that later.
Okay,
And with that, I'm done. Thank
all
you.
right. I will move on to chief purchase report.
All right, I'm gonna go over December's numbers and total of 2025 numbers. Total miles driven by officers in December was 7,722. In 2025 total, it was 93,770 miles. So that's a 20,000 mile increase from 2024. That's 3.77 trips around the world. So if you could drive over the ocean, that'd be 3.5 trips around the world. Total dispatches in December was 123. For 2025, we had 1,340, an increase of 100 over 2024. Closed cases in December was 122. 2025, it was 1,284. That was an additional 96 from 2020. Case follow-ups last month was 21. In 2025, it was 224. That was an additional 134 case follow-ups this year. Arrests last month was 1. In 2025, it was 15 total. That's 3 less than in 2024. Business checks was 559 last month. For 2025, it was 6,143. That is 1,776 more than the prior year. Vacant or vacation house checks, 183 last month. In 2025, we performed 1,984 vacation house checks. That's an increase of 1,313 from the prior year. Occupied house checks, last month was 1,420. For 2025, we did 14,751 occupied house checks. That's an increase of 3,475 from the year prior. And, you can tell with those numbers, it's been a big focus with the sergeant and I. Staying on the officers, hey, get these done, make sure you're documenting. I think what was happening is they were doing it, but they weren't documenting. So now we're getting them to really keep track of what they're doing. And it's showing that they're out there on the road, according to the miles and the number of checks they're doing. They're staying very busy and making sure that they're keeping the township safe. Total number of crashes last month was 1,376 for 2025. That's a reduction of 26 crashes from 2024 to 2025, which is a good thing. We like to see that. Traffic stops, 46 last month. It was a total of 509 in 2025. That's an addition of 92 traffic stops. And I think that lends to the negative number of crashes that we had last year. I think they're out making more stops. People see the blue lights. That helps people remember to slow down a little bit. So, and follow the law. The number of citations last month was 25. 2025, there were 251 total citations. That's an increase of 69 from 2024. Any questions about the numbers? Monthly information, ECPC, the Emergency Communications Policy Committee, trustee for German Township. It's typically the trustee president. Dr. Cross has chipped in and served in that position for the last several years. I don't even know how many, probably as long as you've been a trustee. But they reached out to us and asked for trustee to step up into that position for Dr. Cross. Typically, it's, like I said, it's the board president, and I gave them your information, Mr. Stubbs.
That's fine.
So basically, the Montgomery County ECPC, Emergency Communications Policy Committee, is a governing board that oversees the operations of the Montgomery County Regional Dispatch Center. And they make decisions on policy changes, capital purchases, and budget related to emergency communications within the county, with representatives from each jurisdiction that RDC serves. So they should be getting a hold of you.
Okay. That's good.
One thing that I needed to run by the trustees, the Law Enforcement Support Office, it's LESO, is a federal defense logistics agency program that transfers excess Department of Defense property to federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. This equipment, ranging from office supplies and vehicles to specialized gear, helps agencies enhance public safety at minimal to no cost through a streamlined application and acquisition process. I need to get approval from the Board of Trustees to participate in this program. What we're looking for is to join the program and try to add equipment like ballistic shields, which is very expensive, and we don't buy them because they're so expensive, but it's something that in many past occurrences that would have been handy when we have to make entry into a house, a hostage situation, something like that. We go in without shields, and that's something that you just don't see. And also ballistics helmets, items like that the government sets aside and they have too many of. That's what we would be looking for, safety equipment, items like that. So that is the purpose of that. If I could get your approval.
Would that be go ahead. I was gonna say.
I was gonna ask, will you need a document to send in?
I don't.
showing?
I don't. It just, one of the requirements is that we have trustee approved.
But you don't have
There's
to
no
have it.
signature. There's no
So
signature.
just a motion.
I think a motion would be adequate.
So I'd like to make a motion to join the Law Enforcement Support Office agency.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
So we write a lot of grants. This is another opportunity for our department to try to add expensive equipment at a low cost. We try to save money every step of the way, and this is another way to try to do it. Again, update from last month from Township. Police are still in search of a new full-time officer. Not been successful thus far. We've been looking for the last few months, and
Are you getting any
Perhaps.
applications at all?
we've had a couple show interest, and then they just kind of. Sergeant and I are putting our heads together, trying to come up with more ideas than just contacting academies. We're trying to find other ways to get the information out there. So it's just difficult. There's not a lot of officers out there like there used to be. Basically what it is. When I started moons ago, you'd go someplace and there'd be 300 applicants trying to get one job. Now you're lucky to see a dozen people at a bigger department trying to get that job. So it's a hard road to follow. So we're trying, we're doing what we can. But again, this is to compensate for an additional SRO at the school by the request of the school.
At no additional cost to us, I would like to add.
No additional cost to us. They will pay in full.
And when do we need an officer by?
By September 1st. I would like to have one at least by June so that we can get them trained and to backfill for one of our officers moving out there or however we go about it. June is our deadline. That's what
That's what I was getting at.
Is that
That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
So just a quick one. Are the defibrillators checked periodically?
Yes, they are.
I just was wondering about it.
Yeah,
In case were using-
we actually check them on a regular basis. We also check this one. We were told that once they get down to a quarter battery, we could replace them. We've already got quotes from somebody that Chief Aldridge recommended to us. And, we'll continue to keep track of them and replace them.
Us old guys appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, we check them regularly.
Clear.
I'll make a comment.
Sure.
My name is David Garone, 14239 Kiefer Road. First, I have two best friends out on these roads. First one is an officer on patrol. I love seeing them. I'm glad they're there. The second one is I don't know what to call it, an LED driven or solar driven speed thing that tells me how fast I'm going. It brings my speed to my consciousness and automatically gets me within the speed limit. That is the most wonderful device I've ever seen out on the roads as far as I'm concerned. I don't know the expense, how costly they are to maintain or buy, but I would encourage the more of them we can find to our road, the better.
We wrote a grant for one of those last year. We were declined.
Much
So
are
we'll continue. You can get anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000.
expensive.
They are. We're looking at, like you said, the sign itself with a solar panel that would power the sign. And those are more along the lines of the 6,000. You got 10,000 of the trailers that you see some departments have.
That's just money grabbing, but
It's a little more convenient. You can move it around a little easier, but with the help that we get from the road department, I'm sure we could handle one of the pole mounted signs. And that's what we're looking at. It is something that we're looking at and we're
Good.
trying to write grants for to try to save money on buying.
All right, thank you. Do you have a report for Mr. Holbrook tonight, or did he? have one?
He just called me to let me know that he had no change from our last meeting.
Okay.
There was no necessary.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So I will go to Ms. Burton. You don't have a report tonight either, do
I
you?
do not.
All right, so that moves us on into the trustee reports. Mr. Potter.
I don't have much of one. As far as the parks go, Tom Gigline, he retired. And William Heasted is the new chair. And Shelley Powers is the new vice chair. And just talked about trying to do a committee for the 250 and just I'm looking forward. It was a success for the Christmas in the park. Of course, everything was shut down, but Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus and the elf was there for the kids that wanted to walk
Okay.
to the park. So it still went on, just there wasn't no parade. And of course, we had no pool meeting. So that's all my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Potter. For the first time, Mr. Rowland.
All right, first is the Senior Oversight Committee report. Dr. Cross attended the Senior Oversight Committee meeting on 12/23/25. Committee reviewed and approved proposed 2026 budget. In new business, the Senior Center Manager, Chinoa Ayersman, discussed membership fee increases to cover the increasing cost of supplies and groceries. Presently, the senior center does not charge for meals, bus trips, programs, et cetera. To help better cover those costs, it was decided that membership fees be raised for residents of Germantown and German Township. These fees raised from $10 to $15, raised non-resident membership fees from $20 to $30. Also, they discussed the continuing problem with the center rentals when groups do not clean up after themselves. To try to encourage to be in compliance, the committee decided on the following fee changes. Nonprofit groups raise the rental from 50 to 75. Business groups, they can raise the rental from 150 to 200. Personal groups remain at 3, and they were going to raise the deposit on all groups to $250. And then in January, that was written down, January last Thursday, 8th. January 8th, we had our oversight committee, and Bonnie was elected the first chairperson, and I was the vice chairperson for the committee. That's the meeting.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Have they been able to get with you on when your meetings are? And
Yes,
Okay.
we have a quarterly, yes,
Perfect.
quarterly meeting set up for that. I've still got I don't have the fire and EMS scheduled
Okay.
yet, so I haven't
Okay.
been able to get that yet, but
All right, perfect. All right, thank you, Mr. Rowland. A few things tonight that I have. You took care of the Dr. Cross thing. I had that. Cemetery, I was there before I came here tonight. A lot going on to wrap up the year. Just so everyone's aware, I've talked about it recently, but the website and the software is online and working. So if you get a chance to check out Germantown cemeteryoh.gov, I recommend it. We are easing our way into now accepting credit cards. We're streamlining our work orders and documents. Just makes everything a whole lot easier and convenient for the office workers and everyone involved. So if you get a chance, check out our website. And for funerals going forward, we're able to include some memorial information as well through the website. So for families. Wreaths Across America was in December. It was a very cold and very snowy day. We had probably 50 people come. And there was a ceremony run by Mr. Short from the Veterans Museum in Germantown. Over 300 wreaths and 700 flags were placed on veterans' graves that day. It was very nice service. It was, like I said, very cold, but the snow and the wreaths, it made it a very pretty afternoon for that to happen. And it was well done as always by Mr. Short. I'd also like to thank the Boy Scout Troop 29 and the Cub Scouts Troop 409 for coming out and supporting as well with that.
Mr. Stokes,
Yes,
could I request that whoever organizes that send us an invite for that? Because
Sure.
we would love to participate in that. We've got several veterans that are police officers in our agency, and we would love to participate.
Yep, that would be Dave Short from the Veterans Museum, and I will be sure to let him know.
Fantastic.
Yep. Write that down. The wall project we've discussed is on hold for better weather at this point in time. Webb Cemeteries is up and going. I was going to let Mr. Holbrook know tonight that we have a light on our flagpole, but he is not here tonight. As he had asked about it. So that concludes that. WRCG update, our trash contract with Rumpke ends this fall. I have an email out to Perry Township trying to get elected official contact information as they've all turned over. And we don't have information, we don't have contact information for any of them.
Mr. Music moved out of the township.
Oh, is that why he's not there?
That's why he's no longer
Okay.
a trustee.
That's the email address I had, so I've I sent an email based on his email address to the new name, hoping that it goes through. So we'll see. But we need to meet this month or next and get started on the process. I've got an email ready to go as soon as I get a hold of somebody from Perry Township to discuss getting the contract started. So we'll have more information on that next. And a good thing at the OTA, we'll be able to meet with hopefully Rumpke and Waste Management at a minimum to have those guys bid on our contract this fall. So lastly,
May I, before you?
Sure.
I will go ahead and send out the member invoices
Okay,
for the 2026. But then when we do meet in 1 to 2 months, I think it's time to turn over the fiscal.
that's on my list. I've already got that on that
To a new person.
because we've had it longer than we're supposed to. Do you know how much money's in that account off the top of your head? Because we're gonna have to pay. No, don't worry about it. You can give me later.
Up at my desk.
Okay.
Give me
Sure.
5 seconds.
Question,
Sure.
Jim, are you trying to make it to the Germantown council meetings? I know we talked about that.
Yes, I am, and I didn't make it for this one because I wanted to make it to the initial
Yeah.
over.
I think it's valuable. I mean, let's us know what's going on.
Yes, my plan is to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I stopped in and told Terry that I was coming up here because they were doing their setting the zoning committee over or initial meeting. So I just wanted to meet the zoning board. So
Slightly more than $7,000. The dues for the participating members is $250, I believe. And so that'll be another $1,250.
So we've got enough to cover.
Or be over 8,000.
Perfect.
Each year, we seem to lose some of our non-participating members. So
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think we have one left maybe,
Okay.
and that's, I believe, $100.
Okay. Not a problem. And yeah, that's on my list to pass that over as well. Hopefully to
I think,
Jackson
I was
Township
gonna say,
because Perry's
this is
turned
Eric
over
would
again.
be perfect.
Yeah, and I think Perry's turned that position over again a couple times.
They have a brand new fiscal
Yeah,
officer.
we don't.
I would not ask her to
Right.
take on any more responsibilities.
Yeah,
Could be Farmersville, but
we'll stick with the town.
Somebody
folks.
who-
Yeah,
lives Jackson or Farmersville.
right, for sure. Well, I'm sure Mrs. Kazarik will be thrilled when we let her know that per our agreement a couple years ago that it's going to rotate. Just lastly, I just kind of wrote up a little recap of 25 and where we're headed in 26 as the first meeting of the year. So German Township will continue to hold our monthly meetings that are open to the public, as always. Our meetings are always open and will be open, fair, honest, and one of the best parts of serving in this role is that our meetings truly have become a conversation with our residents, which you don't get that at many other places. Try going to a school board meeting and seeing how talking to them goes over. The dialogue is important and it ensures that we as a board continue to make the decisions that benefit our community the best. In 2025, we finally closed the books on the water district debacle, which has been going on for more than a decade. And while that chapter is now behind us, it's important for the board to realize and remember that something like that can never happen again. Our residents deserve better transparency, better oversight, and better accountability. And the fact that it took nearly 10 years to pay that off just shows how big of a mistake at the time it was. So I look forward to working alongside Lou and Jim as we move forward together. Police department, and this is something I'm not sure this year, but definitely next year. The last time a police levy passed was nearly a decade ago. Since then, the cost of providing police services has increased across the board: fuel, vehicles, equipment. I believe from 2017-ish, the cost of a cruiser was in the $25,000 range, and now it's over 45, 50 or plus. So the cost of the vehicle has increased, as well as equipment and labor. Everything's become more expensive. And even with those challenges, the police department under Chief Birch's leadership has done an outstanding job of being responsible with our taxpayer money. Chief Birch and Ms. closely monitor the expenses. They work hard to stretch every dollar. They stretched the carpet in the police department room over there for about 20 years past when it needed replaced. We need to have an honest conversation with our residents about a levy coming up here in the future. So whether we're going to let a couple of those old ones expire or add to it, we need to have a conversation of where we need to go there just to maintain our current level of service. Chief Birch, Sergeant Jones, and the entire department are high-quality individuals who truly care about this community. Our school resource officer program is doing great and expanding. And I think it's such a benefit to the Valley View, as well as our department, to have someone in the building that can deal with situations as they arise and just keep our thumb on the what's happening in the community, as the hub of our community now is in the township. The road department, our community has made it very clear where it stands on additional road funding. Jeremy's not here tonight, but we respect the will of the voters, and like the police department, the rising costs of material, fuel, equipment have limited our road department and do with our existing resources. So outside of a levy at some point in the future, not suggesting one, we're pretty locked in on what we can do. Jeremy and Scott consistently go above and beyond, especially when it comes to maintaining equipment. They wash their equipment every time they use it and keeping it rust-free and as possible and clean and looking good, and also maintaining its quality so we can have them a longer time. Unless the residents decide otherwise, the road department will continue to live within its means and provide what we can afford. Zoning, we're happy to have Janet on board with us, stepping into her role, and zoning work is never easy or fun. Moving forward, it's important that we continue with our complaint-based enforcement. We simply don't have the budget or the need for an aggressive enforcement that goes looking for problems. German Township is a small rural community. We're not Centerville, Washington, or Miami Township, and we shouldn't try to be. Our zoning commission and BZA should remain focused on protecting our agricultural heritage and preserving the character of our township. That means common sense restraint and respecting people's property rights. It also means worrying more about being good neighbors and less about measuring the Centerville, getting out a measuring tape and measuring your neighbor's grass or nitpicking on minor issues. This approach has served us well for at least the decade plus that I've been here, and it's one worth continuing. In recap, German Township works because we value personal responsibility, fiscal restraint, and limited government, respect for each other. As we move forward, it's important that we stay true to those conservative values while continuing to provide essential services and protect the quality of life of our residents. And that's all I have as a recap of 25 and where we should go in 26. So thank you. Are there any other visitor comments tonight? Is there any other old business? It is 8:33 and I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned at 8:33.